Welcome back to the Owner's Chair. Today we're shifting gears, spotlighting a remarkable guest who's a leader and his life is a masterclass in balancing civic duty and community impact and family values. Our guest, Essex Cooks, has dedicated over 15 years to uplifting his community as a Suisun City Commissioner, Vice President of Communications for Black Elected Officials of California, and co-founder of HBHF, handle Biz Have Fun. That's it. Thank you, brother.
Repeat that process. Handle business, have fun. Repeat.
We're going to start with the obvious. You've worn many hats: a leader, mentor, entrepreneur, husband, and a father. But let's start with the cowboy hat. Talk about it. What is that?
I'm the Marlboro man. No, I'm playing now. No, really with the hat. Comfort zone, walking into places. I'll wear anything. Like wearing hoodies, like wearing hats. A lot of the places and spaces I'm in, the only thing that's allowed in is a cowboy hat. You can wear that in any room. Put it on, start wearing it more. And these things are comfortable. Like, I couldn't get around it, and then became a staple. But what people don't know is more of a hiding point for me. You know, just putting my head down, being able to just be me.
Kind of like a security blanket or something.
Exactly. It came as that, but then more confidence in what I wear. So it just goes with what I do.
No, and also what I've noticed, because I've known you for a long time, and once you start wearing that hat, that's when everybody I know, all I got to do is say, Essex, yeah, I think the one with the cowboy hat. I know what you're talking about. So that's why I figured you did it.
Oh, man. And that's just the thing that tells you how many places I've probably been in, not just posting on social media, just going into and wearing a hat. Like, why is this man in here with the hat? More like a boy sometimes because I'm looking. You know me for a long time.
Right.
But it's always, or that he's in here. Like, well, I make them uncomfortable sometimes because how do I approach somebody in a hat that's dressed like this? I've worn it with Hawaiian shorts just to put it on. Sometimes I wear sunglasses. Sometimes I have the hoodie on it. So it's like, how do I approach him? But once they approach me, it's still the same person with that hat on or off. What's up? How you doing?
No, I definitely, I thought it was genius when you started doing it. But even before the hat, so I met you before the hat.
Ponytail.
Right, ponytail. I forgot about that. You're right. So, I've known you for what? Got to be 15, almost 18 years.
That's before high school, because I was coming around Fairfield more. That's when I was out here, just seeing around the barber game more.
Right. And I was introduced to you by Kevin.
Exactly.
And that's your best friend.
Yeah, exactly. We were roommates at the time. What's crazy is, remember getting out of high school and we were like, man, what are we about to do? We were trying to get up early. I'm like, all right, look, Kev, you get up early, you go to the shop, be there at 6. It's like me, I just tore my knee. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not going to college. I'm not doing a bunch of nothing. So I'm about to go to the Boys and Girls Club in Vallejo because my cousin worked there. I'm going to help out as a program aide and just get my hands into something. So that's where me and Kev, we were just roommates and just trying to, what do we do next? Like, we can do anything we want in terms of just freedom. We were roommates paying our bills at a young age. What do we do? That was that. And that was just like a breaking point, I guess. Like just getting up in the morning, disciplining ourselves young, having respect for people's time. Like I remember somebody telling me like, hey bro, you ain't got some respect for people's time. You coming up late, man. We got things to do. And I didn't understand that at that age, like 17, 18. I graduated at 18, so 18.
So you mentioned you tore your knee up. Do you play sports?
Yep, I played everything. I ran track, played basketball, played baseball. Um, I made the soccer team, but it was always interference, so I couldn't play that. I was an outside kid, but I tore my knee. I said, I'm thinking I'm going to college for scholarship. I'm gonna go the JC route, or everybody going. One homie going to Ohio State. I'm like, man, I'm about to go there. Man, I went to Sac State after high school. After practice, long story short, went to YMCA. That's in Suisun, the old YMCA.
Mhm.
I could jump, bro. You ain't gonna believe me. They threw me a lob, but I had my track shoes on, so there was no back support. So when they threw me a lob, I caught it kind of off. I remember laying up. I tried to catch my my fall. I tore my ACL. So I tore that the summer going into Sac City and running. But I was getting looks from just out of state things because Spider, he was running. So Cal Poly, Georgia, everywhere they were looking, it was a combo thing.
So for track.
Yep, for track.
Okay.
Yep. I got kicked off the track team my senior year. That's what really messed up a lot why I had to go JC right in the middle of the season. I was like,
What you get kicked off for?
grades.
Oh no.
I didn't. Okay, look. There's gonna be a lot of legends and things in high school. Like I said, certain things happen for you in life, arrogance, things that kind of humble you. I thought I was going to college. I'm from Vallejo. I'm like, man, I'm going to college. I'm gonna be running. It's already cool. I found my niche. I'm short. I ain't gonna play football. I'm not gonna play basketball. I'm about to run track. I tore my knee that summer. It was just humbling, man. It was like, all right, what do I do?
Speaking of basketball, so I work with Kev, so I asked him give me some inside scoop,
Go ahead.
and he mentioned that you guys used to play. You and him used to play against the boys at the boys club in Vallejo on the carpet,
Yes.
and then he had
That
mentioned
story
also
done.
that y'all used to get ran.
All right, look, I told you I'm coming off an ACL injury. I gave a lot. So, like I said, I tore my knee going off into okay, what career? I went to the Boys and Girls Club, the Continental Mega Boys and Girls Club. Came in as a program aide. Fast forward, I ended up executive director. So I still have to play with the kids. I tore my knee twice. I tore my knee then, I tore my knee twice, another time. So I'm playing with the kids with no ACL, and of course I can't do nothing in a repair one. So Slimmy, shout out to Slimmy B. He dunked on me. He was some of my kids up there. So we had Slimmy, we had just a lot of good kids, and this is how I know there's cause and effects. It comes back tenfold. I'm talking about people. Man, there's people who went to more colleges than us. Like that was our age. Like for me, being in that environment and picking up like passion, like what do I want to do? And then I have kids in my community. And that's funny. They was calling me Mr. Essex. So I'm sending them. We're going to college tour. We're keeping up Keystone. I'm looking at them going on the college tour. It's like I want to go. I'm like, I'm here. I gotta play. We got younger kids. So yeah, I got scars and stuff on carpet. And mind you, thank you, CC, Pitch In Foundation. They're the ones who donated the carpet. It's supposed to be like North Hills. The ground was cracked at first with the carpet at the Boys and Girls Club. We partnered with CC's Pitch In, PepsiCo, Jordan Brand to come and redo the Omega Boys and Girls Club. So we redid the carpet like North Hills. We got the outside painting, every exterior redone. The garden program from Solano College, Recology Vallejo, they redid our park. So yeah, I did put my knee into them. They was cross me. I was tired.
No, for sure. So what inspired you to dedicate your life to community service and leadership?
It, like I said, it was a crossroad, man. I'm born and raised from Vallejo. I tear my knee after high school. I was living in Vallejo, going to Rodriguez. So I was driving since I was probably 12. One of the first cars I got was Craigslist for like $100.
Wait. You're driving down 80 at 12?
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna say the person. I remember I was like 14, 15, whatever a freshman is in high school, coming back from LA. Um, We lost our house in Vallejo, so I had to move to LA from the end of my 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade. When I came out here, I wasn't about to go to school. I was like, I don't know what I'm about to do. We like couldn't get into Bethel. Too much noise around where my personality. So I used the fake address, went to Rod. So that you can't catch me now, you can't kick me out.
Right.
But that process there, what led me into this, it was that crossroad. Like, what do you go back to? Went to the Boys and Girls Club. I have a big family, so they're like, just come here. Learning how you can have cause and effect in the community off organizing. A lot of the stuff that I was doing is passion. It wasn't like a lot of knowledge, just paying attention to what's going around me, sitting in board meetings, hearing how things are going at 18, 19. You're hearing all this money, $255,000 from Kaiser Grant, PG&E are just throwing things around. And Amit Paul, one of the council members I met, he can play testament to it. Took us to the Warriors game. I have Boys and Girls Club kids with me, 3 kids. They're having a food fight. PG&E's having a food fight in the box when Monte Ellis is getting in. Let's say he got traded. We were at that game in the box seats with PG&E. But you're seeing this being thrown around, and I'm just looking like them. Like I said, I want to go on the college tour. We want this funding. We want to be a part of this. But you're seeing how to play a part. And I'm like, bring this home. We're going to bring this to Vallejo. So once I started putting my passion into the Boys and Girls Club, not knowing what I was doing, building programs, learning the community relations, picking all this up, Stevie, my brother, he gets drafted. So now I'm at another crossroad. How do I stay in California, help out? My sister is like, can you help with kids? Can you help with business? Like, can you just come out here? I dropped being executive director, and I went out there. That was Steve's rookie year. And then it woke me up to more because I missed the Boys and Girls Club. I'm like, dang, I miss these kids. I miss these programs. I didn't want to leave, but there was a bad board and things. It was like too much. It was like just too much risque for me to be their executive director. But I missed it. Now I'm in the NFL. I'm in Buffalo, and I'm learning how do you be you, and it ain't even me, it's Stevie. How do you market and build a brand and a team off of being you? You get drafted. Hey, Rand, here's your money. Here's fast forward. What does that look like for you? You have all these things. We're 18, 19. All right. We get to Buffalo. First time, snow get there. We jump off. We're on YouTube. As YouTube started, Stevie get on top of the apartment complex, second story. We're jumping off the second story into the snow. Posting on YouTube, agent, hey, what do y'all do? Take that down. We're like, oh, things are different. Other situations that just woke you up out there where you understand the NFL isn't fun. It's a lifestyle, it's a business. You go out there 6 months, it's a business, week to week, week to week, week to week, highs and lows, wins and losses. So going back to the point of what made me go into this is like, it was a journey of finding myself. I'm not going to school. I don't like working for anybody. How do I leverage this into figuring out my own legacy, my own future? That's how I really got into it, just figuring things out, but with passion. Like, this is what I want.
So your journey from California to Buffalo stemmed from Stevie, which is Stevie Johnson, and he got signed to Buffalo.
Draft 7th round. It's crazy about that. It's like, why'd you get? I told him, why'd you get drafted to Buffalo? Man, he got drafted. They called me like, bro, man. And there's nothing in Buffalo. So we're California kids. I'm wearing shorts in Buffalo. That's how it happened. Just that quick. Okay, let's go to Buffalo.
So your defining moments that shaped Essex, it sounds like from childhood that, you had to make it happen. You had to find a way. We're talking about knowledge, and knowledge is only based on the ability to learn. So if you don't have access to learning,
where did I learn it?
It's a problem, but you found it.
But how do you find it? And that's where it's a mass out there, right? I look at the electrician work, right? Why do I know electrician work? Because we couldn't pay our PG&E. My daddy taught me how to cut the pipe, bypass the breaker box. cut the lights off when PG&E drives by. Certain knowledge that you pick up that you do practical. When I told you I was driving young, my uncle David, he owned, he rest in peace, he had the 707 building off York and Marin. So I was working at raves at young ages. Juneteenths were putting on shows. So I've always been in the atmosphere. Kyrie, Young Black Brothers, being raised around like Matt Dre, Doobie, In the House. Like it was always a different atmosphere of performers and people doing things. My cousins can sing. My cousin's an actor. Like, so for me, the identity crisis is like Encanto. Like, I'm like, what's my, if I got kids, little kids, so Encanto is a Disney movie. It's like, what's
I
my
was going to
superpower?
ask you what
Yeah,
does
it's like,
that
what's
mean?
my superpower? If y'all don't know, for Disney rights, they're powerful. It's a very great movie. You should go review it. But no, it's about just finding the younger siblings. Like, where do you find your identity when everybody's getting your powers, but you don't get none? So going back to my cousins having these big identities, big things, I'm the baby of them all. So I picked up on a lot, but didn't have to say much.
So what made you go more towards the helping positive side rather than the street side?
Foundation. I got check and balance. You come home, the first time you're an actor is when you come home to being a parent. I mean, you come home to your parent. You know, it's like, hey, how was school? Hey, I was very good. But I knew when I was outside that there was a certain amount of freedom that my father and them couldn't be with. I'm born in 88, so 90s, I'm a 90s baby, or I guess 80s, however you look at it. But it was no social media, it was freedom. First time I ran from the police, because we had monkey wrenches. My dad is a truck driver, owner operator. So I seen a lot of the United States early because we would drive cross country. So it's like, oh, wow. But my dad would be going too. Freedom. My mom, she worked at Kaiser. Freedom. I had a parent, mom and dad in the home, but they worked. So different dynamics.
But most people with that freedom, they tend to lean towards what's fun at the time. When we get older, we don't think that's fun. But when you're younger, you think that's fun. What made you stay on course?
I mean, we all tread a line. In that line, you kind of push over. So there's life things that scare you. I'm a grown man. Yes, at our age, we're going to have to get embarrassed to learn our lesson, right? But as a kid, there's certain things that scare you, situations you've been in. Not scare you, but it's like, this doesn't fit me. This mask doesn't fit me. I tried it, this doesn't fit me. In LA, I told you, 7th grade, 8th grade, I think I was gangbanging. I'm not even sure, because I did get jumped in. 5'2" people hit me in my stomach. I'm like, yeah, what's up, cuz? You know what I mean? Like I'm a bay boy. So situations that you're exploring again, it's culture shots. It's like, I know who I am. I never questioned that. I have confidence. I know who I am. You can't tell me who I am. But I'm here. And I've had a lot of just life situations. I'm not crazy. I've just been through a lot, man. Like, I'm goofy, so I put myself in situations. But if I break a window, I'm not the type that's going to run. I'm like, hey, see all this glass? I did it. I'm going to at least help you sweep it up.
One thing I noticed about you is family, man. You got a lot of family. Or everybody just
No, I got a lot of
is
family.
your family to where they say, that's my family.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think family is important, man. And family shapes you. And, you know, it holds you accountable. And I'm thinking that had something to do with it too. You know,
When
you
you
have
say
people to deal with after.
culture, I'm Black, Filipino, Hawaiian, Indian. I'm a Mare Island baby, product of Vallejo. So when I seen that melting pot in Vallejo, was always different cultures and different people telling me different things. I'm a Christian, but I also have Native Americans who taught me different. And it's always these conversations with my cousins. Go hang out with my Black cousins, different vibe. Go hang out with my Filipino cousins, it's a different vibe.
I'm Japanese and Black,
I'm
so
like,
I
yo.
already know. I already know.
So it's just that running around, culture shock, culture, everybody check and balance, big cousins, I'm the baby. That's where I felt like not just quiet, never sneaky, just observative, but I never had to speak up because I always had the older ones in front of me to speak up. So it's easy for me to navigate. I'm short, under the wing. I was always able to maneuver. Even with Stevie being drafted, it was no attention. It's cool to play the background and understand and learn. Everybody's in that realm. I don't want it. I'd rather be right here with my peace of mind.
No, I get it. So you're the vice president of communications for the Black elected officials of California.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had a front row seat in watching how leadership impacts communities.
Mm-hmm.
What what's the most rewarding aspect of those roles?
I'm gonna tell you the honest part of it. Appointed, I'm Suisun City Commissioner. Appointed means I had to go talk to the mayor, the city manager, and they had to decide if they wanted me in. But these people were elected in and voted in by the people. So I'm working with supervisors, assemblywomen, um, like people where they hold prestige. The most fulfilling thing is, even though they hold their prestige, you're seeing the work they're putting in, meaning they have W-2s, meaning these people aren't just balling, they are doing the sacrifice in times. It's just that seat makes them look way more prestigious than what we have. And we have that problem in the, let's say, religious culture. Christians, when you see a preacher, he's put on that pedestal. But he's there to organize. These people, these distinguished people are there to organize. So the fulfilling part about it is, how do you organize? How do these people who's never on camera in the background really, what work are they putting in? So fulfilling, and we just had the election go on. I tell people, Trump, Camilla, Trump, think local, and what does that even mean? So being around them is very eye-opening to see the planning, the commitment, the organization of not politics, because whatever we do is politics. You go to work, you do these things, it's going to be politics. But what is happening in that background? What does the organization look like? What does it look like going forward for us? We're not going to have another Martin Luther King. We're not going to have another Malcolm X. If you get too high, whatever you went through is going to knock you down from your past because of that stature, because of the way social media is. If I go too high, it's the Diddy effect. You get too high, then everything comes in. I mean, I don't even know truth from false right now.
I don't know, that Diddy effect a little different.
But it get too loud, and then that's Martin and Malcolm. You get too high, then what happens? But I think it's the organizations, it's these conversations between me, you, other people that's going to bring these generations. I think that's what organizing looks like. I think when they say Black people get organized, it's going to get scary. But all organization is taking that mask off. Like, I'm Essex, I'm goofy, I've been through things, and you're Randy. You've been through things, you have experiences. But if we organize that, that's political science. You put a barber and a crazy guy who a ponytail who can just run around life being spontaneous, what's going to happen? My favorite quote: "Jack of all trades is the king of none, but sometimes better than the king." That's the complete fulfilling quote. They always cut it short. Jack of all trades is king of none, but it never was meant to be a shot at nothing. But that's our culture. It's always been meant to be a compliment. So if I can learn to compliment you, just like you guys compliment me by cutting my hair, to be going out into these realms, this is the autonomy of what we're trying to build out here. So I need you just as much as you need me, and we need these other people who are in these positions, elects, people who want to be our leader, these social media people are following, who's dancing, doing, and performing, but doing other stuff off camera. That's what the Black elected officials, being vice president, opened up my eyes to more of the ignorance that we kind of hold ourselves to.
No, man, I've been seeing what you're doing, and you've always been willing to bring people with you, and you have a huge civic engagement with everybody, and that's the heart of everything you do. And for somebody that's looking to uh, do the same, but might not know how to do that, what can you tell them? How can they get in this world that you're in?
Two things. There's no handbook for this on how you're going to feel because we all react different to pressure in life. So I say, first thing, get close to your family, build that boundary basis of what you guys want. I'm married, 3 kids. That's my foundation. I learned that early on in the Boys and Girls Club. So that foundation, boundaries, being in leadership when things can come at you where you're open and you're vulnerable. That part. Number 2, relationships are better than grants. Relationships are better than loans. Relationships with people is going to get you further than just applying. So I'll tell you, everybody goes to work 9 to 5. Everybody I'm around, like I said, these political figures, leaders, they're in these mayor positions, they still have a 9 to 5 that they go to a profession. So I always ask people, like, I don't care about what you did with your job today. Like when I'm like, what's up, man? How you doing? Work was good. I don't care. What did you do after that? Yeah, I was a father. I was I was a coach. I was going into, but who are you? Who are you as that person? So that's why I always at the next part, find that person. Find your geeky group. Find that organization that's kind of different from what you're doing every day. Go see what your heart, where you want to go, where a mission statement would take you. Mission, vision, outreach. Find that mission, see if that vision goes with you, outreach with that. So for you, find out who you are, what you want to accomplish as a legacy for your family. You have kids. What does that look like? What do I want to leave towards them? My name. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Then can that protect them when I'm gone? That's what I battle with. What's going to happen when my kids are gone? I mean, when I'm gone, and who's going to protect my kids? Like, my son has my name. Thank God everybody can know my name, because when they hear his name, it's going to be, oh, that's S son. That's what builds me up. So remember, through this, it's heart's work, not hard work. So it's going to take a lot out of you to do things outside of your work, man. And that's the troubling part, that people get caught up into being a hamster wheel. That it disgusts me when I talk to you and you can't talk to anything outside that movement, that repetitive motion. So I figure, challenge a lot of people. Boom. All right, now take that money that you're doing, start investing into yourself. Really, it sounds cliche. What do you want to do? Now organize. This is the next step. Can I trust you as a man with my ideas? Whether they're vulnerable or it makes you feel insecure. But can I tell you this? This next step. Can I organize with you? As men in our culture, I feel like that breaking window. I don't know a lot of men who just tell me what they do every day for their 9 to 5. It's a hide, it's a facade, it's chain, earrings, but I don't know what they do. But when you hear them, they can have a photography business, 1 million followers with no LLC, but they would never tell you that. But if I have the resources to help you, then why not ask? So that next step, taking that mask off and asking, what can you help me with? That's where it works.
But as a man, I think a lot of people, they fear asking. They feel like that's a weakness that people need to get out of.
I'm gonna ask you, but why? Even for you, who failed you? Who failed you and made you not confident? Who told you that you can't? Where in your life?
Me?
Think of a situation.
No, not me.
I'm saying,
I have no problem asking.
Because sometimes some people, we all have pride. I mean, my wife, I'll be like, you looking good, but I'm not going to ask because you've been working all day. But I have my pride moments, but I still need to approach my wife.
Well, let me take that back. Maybe being a father helped me to ask, because, what we teach our kids, use what we've built. You said, who's going to protect your kids? What you've built should protect your kids. Your community that you've built should, when they see Essex Cook Jr., they should say, "Oh, I gotta take care of my man right there." We should have been doing that, and as long as we do that, we're all good. Like,
see, and I love being able to ask you that question. You tell me that. There's a statistic. It's the baby boomer men. That's that first generation of men that failed that next generation. The facts in that is, when African American men or minorities were able to come in as engineers, men flocked to that. So we came in as an engineering mindset of always working in that thing, and that's where we kind of bred ourselves. But we didn't come with a lot of education with it, that upper baby boom of men. They were workers, They're always gone. All these factors came in. So we fast forward to 2018. That's when the law was passed that women could sit on boards. So we're seeing this big activity on women going into these board positions and leadership roles. But a lot of men were feeling stagnant because we're still based off that same law of our father, what they told us in the 1946 or somewhere around there, when we were able to be engineers. We're stuck in a mindset that we just have to work, but we're not leaders. My first mentor told me, The problem with minorities is we always want to come in as a worker ant and never the overseer. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, we gotta pull back, especially as that male, and come back, because this is what the point is about males working together, because it is a prideful thing. We're stuck in that work mindset, like, man, my work is going to speak for me, but that's not true. Especially in this day and age, we have too many good fathers, too many good men that look different than what a worker ant looks like. We're not a red ant, we're not a black ant, we're us. And what does that look like as men? We have to face that now, right now, because there's a lot of, I go out now, I know more women in this, the facts are there. They have more LLCs, they have more businesses. They're being more productive, but we're figuring out how we can support them. Do we be their masculine? My boy, Cassandra James, she's supervisor in Vallejo. My boy Cameron, he's her husband. I'm like, look at the first husband. He like, he got to figure this out because it's different. And it's okay that his wife is in there, but what does that feel like for us now? We have to come to grips that it's okay to be like, man, we support in this way. And this might not be our problem, but there's a bigger outreach where I'm seeing men wearing that mask. As my hat go in rooms, I'm seeing more mask on. So it's kind of like, man, that has to be addressed. Like,
But that's programming. We've been programmed like that. You know, even from what I do, being a barber, being self-employed, coming up in my day, when you said I want to be self-employed, you know, your parents were like, okay, that's cool, but you need to get more stable. You need to get this, yada yada yada. You need to work for them. And I think now it's different, to where if a child comes to you and says, hey, I want to start this business, now the parents are going 100% into it. They're buying stuff, they're helping, they're thinking that now they're on the team, where it was a difference. So, but we were programmed like that from the jump to have stability.
You know what? My Auntie Vicky might be mad at me. My Auntie Vicky, this is that family thing going into here. My cousin G King, comedian, funny all the time.
That's my guy right there too.
I remember it was me, Kev, and G in the house as roommates. G older. We used to tell when people come over, that's my dad. They was like,
hold on, man. I'm me and G the same age.
Yeah, I can see you. Y'all both got the same style. But that his mom told him, you know, maybe you should get a job. And I remember him like, nah, Mom, I'm gonna be a comedian. I'm about to go move to LA. I remember that movement. And it was like, I look at my cousin, that's why I'm smiling like, dog, you told him. I told you he was gonna do it. And he's still catching fire and catching wind under his wings. So
yeah, every time G out here, I go see him. I just seen him the other couple weeks ago.
It's beautiful, man. They're like, it's beautiful to see journeys. Like I said, being at the Boys and Girls Club, seeing somebody like just go from a baby and grow back in, and from calling you Mr. Essex to wanting to do business with you because they went off and went far. It's crazy to see. Like, man, he was a baby. I feel like an elementary teacher or something. Like, oh, look at you was just a lot changed. What a lot of people don't know, this is a hustle in me. I ran a daycare right before I went to the Boys and Girls Club. I was like, really, I didn't know what I was doing. I tore my knee, tried being a loan officer. That didn't work out because as soon as that happens, recession hits when I graduated. Ended up running the daycare at my auntie house and had kids literally there from 6 in the morning watching babies, like infants, doing their hair, just because I was raised in a house like this is normal. Then went to the Boys and Girls Club. It's just a crazy journey, man. Like where life teaches you and gives you these life skills. And I have to wear this smile because I smile all the time that my life taught me this because of my experiences. What got me here is my family. What got me here is getting in trouble. What got me here is popping up on the news and doing things or being on the news. We ain't gonna talk deep into that, but
I remember
those situations. Imagine like you come home and your parents is like, I seen that news clip. What were you thinking? And I'm laughing. I'm like, this is funny.
It was.
But my parents, they're like, let me show you what you're doing. I'm like, when you put it that way, maybe it wasn't a good idea. And this is just off the pranks I've done where I think a lot of people on social media don't realize the repercussions of what they're doing now. What's funny, there's a lot of people my age, 36, who's doing things, trying to be the goody two-shoes, but I remember what you was like. You had social media around my time in your 20s. Please teach your kids better, because y'all was talking about on Facebook when you thought nobody was on there. You guys were talking about your baby mamas, your baby daddies. But we have to learn as a culture. Going back to the point of me and you speaking of what we're doing.
Only time I've seen you not smiling was when you did that movie. When you, I forgot, it was a scene when you popped
Trauma.
up with the ponytail. You was a little gangster,
Yeah, that was
and
a
then
co-star on
you did
Road.
something, and then you took off running down the street.
Yeah, that show got, it was NBC's Trauma. Hey, shout out to NBC. They gave my now that wasn't even my first camera engagement. I was on a lifestyle movie or a Lifetime movie, and I was a kid with cancer. I was in a beanie. My cousin was an actor, so I used to go on a lot of auditions with him. He was on Leave It to Beaver, McDonald's commercials, That's So Raven, but he got out before they all went crazy. I was hanging out with Orlando. I don't know. I don't know if he crazy because he was like that when he was younger. We just had to talk, and I don't know. I don't know.
Come on, Orlando Brown.
Yeah, Orlando Brown. So that part, I'm a Z-list actor. I had my first co-starring role. That was my first co-starring role, and I got that. I was at the Boys and Girls Club, went to Treasure Island, and I did an audition. And I remember the audition like crazy. It was the director, the lady, she was going first with the questions. So what does it look like? And why are you here? So I had to be a gangster. I'm like, y'all using the corniest words. So I'm going at her. I ain't telling her, hey, shut up. I'm going at her just in my acting mode. And then the director, he came in. He's like, yeah, hey, watch how you talk to her. I'm just flowing. I got a call back like, hey, would you like to be on NBC? I'm like, that's a joke. I'm like, nah, no, you but the part. All right, let me see what it's like. Yeah. That's how I ended up going into acting. And I'm like, I fell in love with behind the camera. Because they yell at you. The director gets to yell at you. I don't like just being yelled at. Like, all right,
Let's take a turn here.
go ahead.
HBHF, Handle Biz Have Fun. That's a unique name for an organization. Tell me the story behind it.
Everything you got to handle business, and it has to come in steps. Handle business, then have fun. It has to be in there. If you do it out of sync, if you're having fun before you do too much handling business, it's gonna be out of sort. It came from Buffalo. It's not even my thing. It's a lifestyle. Stevie in Buffalo, going through his NFL journey, getting fined, antics, whatever you call that NFL lifestyle, he always knew it. Handle business, have fun. It may look crazy when you're having fun out there and they don't get it, but as long as you're handling business and you go have fun, that's the process and that's going to go. So every time something came up to us, and starting in Buffalo, news stories, whatever it is, just handle business, have fun.
So how did the Handle Business Have Fun help bridge the gaps to the community?
Because under handle business, have fun, what we have is that's the hub, that's the club HBHF. Now what you have is the spinoff, the Exposure Academy, where we brought JUCO kids, and this is through Steve and who he is. I can't be Steve, but he can manage Exposure Academy with, like, you have crowns and you have different barbers who can hold different weights and things. So if crowns is the hub, HBHF is the hub. The barber seats are Exposure Academy. Me being able to be Essex Cook and going off into what I'm doing out here on this region in California while he's in Buffalo, exposing Buffalo and Arizona and Vegas to what a California person is, what we move like. So it lets me be at home with my family, which is where I want to be, and build on these facets, knowing what's behind me. So handle business, have fun is always the process, but anything spent off is under that umbrella of who we are. Professionals, professionals, professionals. But underneath that, we're men, we're family men, we're family women, we're, I don't know, I'm trying to be equal. But that part of just understanding your culture and where you come from. As long as that's where it is, then Handle Business Have Fun. You can be a part of the membership. You can be a part of the brand. So there's different facets. Steve wrote a book. He's an author now. He's going into sports and just commentating. He was on Sports Center. And if you met Steve, he doesn't really talk. So these are where you're growing within your career. Now he's talking to the public, and like, who would have thunk it? But that's where growth comes in. Now myself, if I have to point the light on, Suisun City Commissioner, Vice President of Black elected officials. This is Handling Business Have Fun. This is you taking ownership of yourself. It doesn't have to happen just for me or Steve, and just because he's my brother, it's like, oh, I don't ask my brother for money. I don't ask my sisters. Something I just don't feel comfortable doing. But one thing he has taught me about handling business, having fun, I was experienced and exposed at Exposure Academy to so much. I've been to Toronto, Miami, not just out there trying to party, but learning, meeting, organizing, Ronald McDonald House, Red Cross, why we have to make these appearances. And it's the same thing I was doing at the Boys and Girls Club. It's the same thing we're doing here, but there's just different sectors. So Handle Business, Have Fun is something we just want to be able to expose other people to just get off your hamster wheel. Own it.
Speaking of Stevie, man, he's a good dude. I have nothing but positivity to speak about him, man. I've hung out with him a few times. I remember how he had the basketball tournament and the way he handled that with myself and my business in the shop and Crowns. Man, I'm just thankful. He didn't have to do what he did. He put my business center stage. No questions. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I was coming in, as everybody else, but he made sure, because of our ties, he made sure he put us front and center. And like I said, I'll never forget that. We ended up, who's Todd's wedding, and we sat down at the table, and they put us at the table with him, and me and him started rapping, and he was. You would have thought we known each other for 20 years.
Crazy, man.
But like I said, man, I see it in just the same as far as uplifting your community that you do. I see the same with him.
Man, words are powerful, man, because like I said, there's no handbook to this. Sometimes it gets hard out here. It gets rough. Like just going into these things, there's highs and lows. Hearing that, man, just like I can really get emotional, man, because that 3-on-3 tournament, that was like, okay, we're coming, like, let's do something. That was passion. That was everything. And then to find out that somebody tried to sue us off some petty, it wasn't even real. It's like, man, like, really? Like, but it never tainted us. It just, like I said, these experiences, how'd you learn? And we POI, who's holding the insurance, who's doing these things, we have to check and balance ourselves. Because our heart, people will take advantage of it. Yeah. But knowing when you're giving that same respect and the growth that I've seen through my generations in my 20s and all the way to my 30s now, it's like, damn, bro, I got so much respect for you. And hearing that from somebody, it's like hearing somebody who I look very high up to. You're one of the first business owners. I remember the ground being laid here. When the ground was being laid here, when you got this shop, I wanted to see it done so bad, but I had to go to Buffalo. And I never was able to come to your parties and everything when you're just really opening up. And I know we were looking on, because we were like, man, look what they doing out here. Like, we gotta do it for them. But we're looking at you in a sense because we don't have these leaders, these business owners, these men who can just like, hey, I don't even really know. I know you I'm not taking nothing away from you. But like the way you shaped this business up and built it up to be, it's only respect, because I seen the blood, I seen the sweat, the tears from putting the floor in, from painting, from designing. That's look at you to be in. You said Japanese. I believe in feng shui, but bro, you put something together. Like, you put a vibe together, and where do I see that at? Where am I allowed to see that at?
No, and man, I'm telling you, I see that you guys seen that because anytime it was a chance to collab or help, you guys were there. Um, and like I said, that's what it takes, man. Community to help you.
Yeah, man.
Even what we doing right now, like I called you for this, and it's like no question, like when and where.
It's respect, man. Like it's like look at things like this, like a wedding. You said Kevin, my best friend. I always tell him I do not want to be the best friend where I'm around you all the time, or I got to be in your face and do all this. Like, bro, if something happens, call me. And that trust we built with each other, like through whatever our life experiences. Me and Kev, we met in 7th grade, but we really started kicking it in 10th and 11th. And me, I'm spontaneous. Kev had that check and balance in where I trusted him. Because there's certain things I'll just go head first into. He'll give me a look. He'll see it in my eye and be like, S, nah. Like, for real? But, nah. That ain't it. That is what we need, man. That's what I needed at that time because I'm still wild and still out there. But I didn't have a lot of friends that just said, hey, that just let me be because I'm not like I'm doing it for attention. I'm doing it because I wanted to. But S, do you understand? People's watching. As you get older kids, I just realize it. It's like, man, I'm watching my kids and seeing people watch them. Crazy dynamics, man.
So we spoke about family, and
Hmm.
you know we're both heavy on family, even outside family. Balancing that, I don't honestly think it's hard.
Mm.
You know, it's not hard when that's what you believe. It's not hard making that choice to put family first when there's no other option for you. Uh, you know, my kids play sports, so for a long time, I'm always leaving to go do a sporting event. My daughter used to dance. I had to pop in for that. Anything my wife needs, we're there. Like it's your mom called, you're gone. Everything got to get on hold. So how, like I said, for me, it's not hard because that's just literally all I know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance everything you do? First off, you're everywhere. Everybody knows Essex is everywhere. How do you balance that with your family?
I mean, even now they say, don't forget where you came from. But I can't because you just said something. A rich man is where your heart, where you lay your treasure, or where you lay your heart is your treasure. Blah, blah, blah. Me, I know where my heart is. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love that foundation. So deciding where my commitment to myself is, it's not that I'm married to be committed to her to make her happy. I'm committed in this marriage, committed to myself to say, okay, yeah, I can do this. I'm gonna commit myself to try to do better. I'm not gonna be perfect. So setting up those boundaries as my wife grew with me. She grew with me through this. It ain't like she just said, okay, ups and downs. Relationships aren't perfect. But me finding that foundation young at the starting off, like I said, Boys and Girls Club, doing this, being able to watch movies, coming home watching movies, being able home to unplug, leave it at the door. I'm always smiling. Why do I got to talk about work? That's depressing. Being able to listen, like going in, I don't have to speak about everything I'm doing. I love to hear people experiences. So cutting that off of where I want to be and committed to, if it's egotistical, then yes, I'll be very out there and more and be like, look at me. That's just something that comes with the nature that people see me. Like, so that balance of if I know, like I said with Kev, if I know I went in there because I said, the house on fire, I know I can get burnt. I'm gonna go save that person because I wanted to, because my whatever is in me told me to do that. I didn't do it for the hero award. I mean, that's corny if somebody's doing stuff for the hero award. So for me, it's like everybody feels like I haven't figured out, but I don't have it figured out. And I'm humble enough to ask you questions. And I'm humble enough to realize I have to shut up. I can't overstep my boundaries sometimes. I'm not going to pervert the word shut up. I'm going to humble myself to not be offended by words. It's these processes and boundaries I set up within myself where I'm like, no, I'm not going to let this come in to affect my marriage, my house, my my religion, whatever else is at stake. So those things is that balance. I know where home is. I know where I want to be. I know this isn't work. This is just what I want to do with my life. I want to help. And things come with that. Don't chase the money. You chase that, it's going to run. But if you chase aspirations, and things come with it. Like those principles and morals is where I'm very based on.
So you've been doing this over 15 years, creating positive change. What's next? Where do you see yourself as a leader in the community for the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years, knowing that planning and things take time to be implemented in this next 4 to 5 years. I want to say we organize so much that they need a new building built that I can call and we'll have our team ready. I want to be in the next 4 to 5 years that our planning and our proposals, because a funder in the next, all they want to see to give you that money, that bag is, can we see the end goal? I talk to a lot of developers, venture capitalists. But if I can see the end goal, what good is it? So in these next 4 to 5 years, I want everybody to see that end goal and see it's not about Essex. It's not about me. If I'm the gatekeeper, run through me. If I'm the mold, break through me. But these next 4 to 5 years, I want you guys to see that I'm being vulnerable, that if I'm doing this and I'm just as wild and whatever, I don't even know, that we can do it too because of you or you. So these next 4 to 5 years, I want everybody to wake up and see it ain't just an Essex. I'm doing things. I get tired too. That you can get in there and do this too. Just come in the room. Quit being embarrassed. Take your mask off. I want everybody to be in a room with their mask off, and we can be there, not problematic, but we can be there as people and be able to iron sharpen iron. So those next 4 to 5 years is a bunch of yelling out and organizing.
Legacy, man. You know, we talked about family and kids. What part of that legacy do you want to leave for your kids and for the community that you tirelessly try to uplift?
Gotta take the crooks with the smiles. My son might hear your dad was a good guy, your dad was a bad guy. But with that legacy talk, I just want them to be able to be comfortable, you said, with the foundation we laid. I want them to be comfortable with being able to call me their father. Like, just molding them out. I can't teach them. Our upbringings were different. My kids will never go through what I've been through and raised through. But they'll see the circumstances that define me, because we talk about molding of where it brought me to. I'm never going to be embarrassed to talk to my kids about things. So that legacy is just me being me. I want them to be able to see that at 80, none of this is going to matter. When I'm 80, that they're still going to have their father, somebody who's not going to get old, because you only get old once you stop learning. I'm just going to keep recreating and learning who you guys are as my kids. So that's just the legacy. I just want to be able to talk to them.
All the relationships, I mean, you've made relationships everywhere, and meaningful relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Fairfield Automotive Group has been part of that story.
Yeah.
Share with me and them some bits about the relationship that you've developed with the Fairfield Automotive Group.
Yeah. So giving me, like I said, and just being able to go and talk to people. BMW and Audi, beautiful family, beautiful representation, beautiful minds there that want to do things for the community. So iron sharpens iron, misery loves company, all these things attract to each other. So two good hearts, two good people, two people that want to make their family successful, their own legacy, but then help the community and reach back. We just met at the right timing, but doing it is going to these rooms, doing these community events, being able to network and knit with them. So the introduction came in. I was in a fashion show with Safe Quest. They domestic violence, big on that issue, that mission. I fall in line with that too. That's how it is. And being able to speak to them about not my business. Oh, I like photography. I do this. Say, man, y'all are beautiful people. What do you do? The iron sharpen iron. Going into them, understanding the economy of what they're trying to build in Fairfield. Man, there's people here who can help you. There's people out here that need you. Just by you being here. If you pull your cars up and be BMW and be Audi and be in these communities, that's where it is. But let me lend myself to you guys. And if I can bring people here, not to buy a car, to be introduced to you guys through your events and community events, the BMW with the Solano Black Realtors had a beautiful Mitzer at a car event. Opened up their whole lot, their whole showroom to having people from the community come in and mix and get on their level and understand the autonomy of what's going on in these rooms when the customers aren't in here. What's going on in your room when people aren't in your chair. This is how you build that relationship. Learning, understanding that they're Black-owned business, that sometimes, like I said, we don't have these conversations to get into a chamber or knowing how the chamber is supposed to work for us. So those relationships, being with the Fairfield Suisun Chamber of Commerce, I didn't have to monetize and go out to go search. I was able to go off and to talk to the relationships of the Chamber of Commerce people. But you don't have to work for them to do it. You can go be a member of a Chamber of Commerce. Then have a mitzvah there. Then be introduced them to it. But let me warm the seat. Let me get them used to a guy with a cowboy hat. Let me get them used to us being in this room and what it could look like. That's how you do it. But they embrace me. And Audi, BMW, it's like, oh, like same mission, same heart. Y'all love people.
And that's the same qualities that I see in what you're talking about, what you've been talking about.
Mhm.
The same with them. That's people ask me what made this show come about, and that was my mission to let the community know the type of people that the Fairfield Automotive Group is, the type of people that I've met.
Yes.
The conversations that we've had. That's how this show started. Me and Al the Pops,
Mm-hmm.
we and Justin,
I love
but we sit down and we had these conversations, and I said, man, I bet you 95% of the people in this room do not know the information that you told me right now.
Man.
And I said, we need to figure out a way to get this to the people. And then on top of that, that came with letting everybody know who they are. I think people feel that BMW, Audi, they're very prestigious companies, so they feel that you got to go in there, a little stuffier, suit and tie, and that's not necessary. You got to always come with the correct paperwork.
Right.
But they have the same values that
Yeah.
we carry.
Exactly.
Family. They're Black owned, but they're also family owned. They're all about the community. I have another organization, Crown Hustle Hoops. So they've invited them to many things.
Man.
Anything, any community based projects, they're always open ears.
And you asked me advice to you, what will help you get going? My advice to everybody listening is quit being afraid to go speak to these businesses like BMW or Audi, or you're going to miss out on gems. There's no reason that Randy or myself have to yell it. You guys can go experience it. But when we start yelling, it's like, man, I don't even want, because are you going to receive it right? But you guys need to go, if you're a business, if you're an organization, go figure out how you guys can cohort, partner, incorporate with getting their community needs out and how they can help you in your community, just like they're helping Randy. These things get important to how do we find our place in this community.
Yeah, man, that was a lot. I think we got a good insight on who Essex is.
You sure? Because I've lived a lot of lives. I didn't tell you. When I got arrested in Cabo, so I'm like, I don't know if I can go back to Mexico. So, no.
Well, we don't really want to talk about that right now.
But it's
But
life
you know,
learning
it is,
experiences. No, I'm playing.
it is. But you know, even that, I'm sure that story is not as harsh as it sounds. I know you, Essex. You know, you're a funny dude. You're carefree. You do everything and you smile. And I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you sharing your story with us today, and all your dedication to the community. It shows, man, and I see a bright future for yourself. Um, you know, I know you're gonna bring a lot of people with you. I hope to share some things with you. Um, you know, I can't wait to see your family grow. That little daughter of yours, man, she's something special, man. She every time she comes in here, I
Weak.
can't do nothing but smile. You know,
Man.
it's clear
Baby.
that you're not just building a legacy; you're empowering others to build their own, um, and that's what's needed. So I appreciate you, man.
Man, I
We
appreciate
got
you.
more to come,
I really do.
and you know, thank you everybody for tuning in to the owner's chair. Um, we'll see you next time, where as we're continuing to show the excellence of the community and people that are empowering themselves and everybody around them. Uh, we're all trying to shape the futures of our communities. And so I thank you for viewing, and we'll see you next time.